Let's get started right away. Clover Health is about to explode and have a crazy momentum rally really soon. Almost every data point that I see points to this outcome. We can look at the short interest percentage, we can look at investor sentiment, cost to borrow, and so much more. I just want to remind everyone that Clover Health has huge potential in almost all areas. They have amazing fundamentals, they have amazing growth potential without a squeeze, they have an incredible gamma and short squeeze potential as well, and so much more. At the same time, our subreddit is growing at a crazy pace, and if you aren't in it, join it, because right now, we have 34.6 thousand members. To me, this is reminiscent of the AMC days, of the early AMC days before it blew up, okay? We are growing at an alarming rate, and the hedge funds that are shorting this stock should be scared. As always, keep in mind that this is not a meme hype company. This is a viable company for the long term. It's a healthcare technology company. It's a growing business. All the signs are there. So let's first talk about the data. And if you're getting value from this video so far, please smash that like button for me. It really does help. In Ortex, we're going to look at this data here. In Ortex, we can see that the current short interest percentage of the free float is sitting at 34.88%. This is actually a decrease in the short interest by 4.48% from the previous day. We can also check that the cost to borrow is still pretty dang high. Right now, the average is sitting at 48.76% with a max at 202.75. Both are still incredible numbers, okay? The days to cover, by the way, is currently 0.94 days. And lastly, the utilization rate is currently 100% still. Great data to hear as always. Next, we're going to go check out the iBorrowDesk. This is going to show us the fees and how many shares are available, okay? And so looking at it, we see a fee of 49.5% with only 100,000 shares available. Again, that fee is pretty high as well. So again, pressure is continuously building. Next, we're going to go back. We're going to go to the Webull app, okay? And in the Webull app, we are going to check out the order flow. In the order flow, as we can see, there is still more inflow than outflow. And that's really important because it means that there are more institutions and large financial whales buying this dip that we are having and taking advantage of this large bargain on CLOV right now. We can see that there's $1.14 million worth of inflow compared to outflow for those large scale orders. Now, we're going to look at something new today. We're going to check out the sentiment of investors have for the stock in options sonar. As we can see, CLOV is currently primarily bullish sentiment for the July 16th. Right now, it's 6.12 million bullish versus 4.25 million bearish sentiment. For August 20th, we can actually see that that gap is even much larger, 12.30 million bullish versus 1.35 million bearish. So based on this, the general consensus is that most investors expect something big to happen by August 20th or around that time. And I personally agree with that as well. I think that we will see a squeeze in due time. Maybe it will be sooner than August 20th, hopefully, right? But around that time is when, based off this, the sentiment is high for that time frame. Now, we're going to talk about the movements of the day. Of course, we need to talk about the movements of the day. Looking at the movements of the day, we can see that today was yet another red day, everyone. At the beginning of the day, we opened at $12.16. 3 minutes later, we reached the intraday high of $12.20. Then, unfortunately, we had a large amount of small red candlesticks that kept us below the VWAP. Then we reached the intraday low of $11.30. But the good news is that we rebounded and reached $11.69, almost hitting that VWAP, almost above that, okay? But then we pretty much bounced up and down from $11.50 to 1165, and it kept on going like that until right around 215. Right around 215, something changed, okay? We passed above the VWAP and maintained above it and ran to $11.89 before we had some downward pressure, ending the day off at 1171. But the good news is in the after hours, we actually did pretty well with a 0.94% increase to 1182. We can also see that the volume was not too bad today, sitting at 30.91 million. That's about 27 million less than the average volume that CLOV has. But CLOV usually has a crazy amount of volume on average, so, But hopefully we get to see some volume when we pick back up on Tuesday after this great holiday weekend. Next, we're going to visit Ape Wisdom. And we're going to visit Ape Wisdom and see the trending stocks on Reddit for the past 24 hours. And as you can see, CLOV is sitting at number 4. And that's actually really high up on the mentions list. So please keep on mentioning CLOV in the subreddits to keep this CLOV momentum going. If you want to be part of this movement, I invite you again to check out our very strong Reddit page. There's a link in the description if you want to go there directly. Right now, currently we have 34.6 thousand members strong, so please make sure to check it out. Speaking of the subreddit, I actually did see a post from a Reddit user, and their name is GermJ. Okay, and GermJ, they were talking about the lockup restrictions for July 6th. And I wanted to first give a shout out because this is great information that I saw this morning in their post, okay? And they mentioned that the lockup ends on July 6th, regardless of the stock price, which follows the exact SEC filings words. And those words are, such restrictions began at closing and end on earlier of July 6, 2021 for 33.33% of the lockup shares. The date on which the last reported price of our Class A common stock equals or exceeds $12.50 per share for any 20 trading days within 30 trading day period commencing on or after February 7th, 2021. And for an additional 50% of the lockup shares, the date on which the last reported share price of our Class A common stock equals or exceeds $15 per share for any 20 trading days within 30 trading day period commencing on or after February 7th, 2021. And the Reddit user then picks it apart, gives us kind of like that breakdown. July 6th, it needs to exceed or equal to $12.50 for any 20-day within 30-day period commencing February 7th, or the date in which the sale price exceeds or equal to $15 for 20 days within any 30-day commencing on February 7th. It doesn't say the restrictions end on July 6th, but only if the sale price is above $12.50 or $15. So when we look at this, we can see that the question is asked, what does this mean for any potential price impact due to lockup expiry? Will there be a significant dilution? So the Reddit user says, hard to say. And anything can happen, of course. However, since it has been public knowledge for over 6 months, this information should already be reflected in the current stock price. It is not a surprise for anyone that potentially all Class B common stock of 260 million units could be sold on July 6th. But there's kind of at the bottom of the page, we can see just an addition from Reddit user Brilliant Big 4638. They are Class B, so they shouldn't sell on the 6th. They have to convert them to Class A to do so, which requires filing with the SEC, which takes 2 days to process. So we do got a little bit of a buffer period on that. Okay. So we can also see that Green Oaks and Garipoli own 180 million, about 70% of the Class B shares, and it's unlikely that they will start dumping. And the other thing to keep in mind is that, in the long term, again, the sentiment is that this stock is bullish, that this company will grow. So, taking short-term profits, it's probably not going to happen, especially if you have that many shares, okay? And so I think that these institutions won't just dump everything. I think that would be pretty unlikely. So definitely a good post to take a look at and everything on this subreddit page that we have here. And I'll also post the link to this post in the description as well, because I really actually thought that was pretty informative. And I was like, oh, that's really nice information. A lot of people have been asking me about it, especially. So hopefully this video has been pretty helpful. And, lastly, as always, I always mention, patience is key with this play, as momentum still needs to build. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see if this upcoming week is going to be the week of a squeeze, but only time will tell. Also, before I go, for a limited time, if you want 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 from Webull by depositing $5, please use the link in the description below. It does help out the channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. And if you like this content and want me to continue following CLOV this closely, hit the like button, share with a friend or community, subscribe, and as always, have a great trading day on Tuesday. You lucky people. Take care. Bye-bye.